San Francisco in 1971, a city pulsating with a counterculture heartbeat. The summer of love may have faded, but its echoes reverberated through the streets. Winterland wasn't just a venue, it was a crucible, a melting pot where legendary acts and future icons collided. Jimi Hendrix had set the stage ablaze, Janis Joplin had bared her soul, and the Grateful Dead had woven their psychedelic tapestries. It would be an event so dramatic, so unexpected, that it would forever alter the landscape of San Francisco's rock and roll scene. The Grateful Dead, synonymous with San Francisco, with psychedelic exploration, with pushing the boundaries of music and consciousness. Their concerts were legendary, each one a unique journey. But on this night in June 1971, the music took a dangerous turn. The air, thick with patchouli and marijuana, crackled with tension. A reckless act by Roadies set off a chain of events. LSD was introduced into the venue's electric punch. The drug spread through the crowd, causing chaos. A night of celebration spiraled into chaos and fear. Over 1,000 fans succumbed to hallucinations and panic. Authorities descended upon Winterland. The music halted, replaced by sirens. Winterland became the epicenter of a scandal. The city reacted with anger and fear. The media captured the chaotic aftermath. Winterland's future hung in the balance. In the aftermath of the Grateful Dead incident, San Francisco demanded answers. The future of Winterland hung in the balance. Dave Furano received a fateful summons. Furano's connection to Winterland ran deep. He understood its cultural significance. Tasked with reopening Winterland, Furano faced an uphill battle. The city imposed stringent regulations. The fire department demanded structural changes. New protocols were imposed. Increased security measures were insisted upon. Furano walked a tightrope between demands and preserving Winterland's soul. He knew appeasing authorities was paramount. His journey would bring him face to face with Bill Graham. Dave Furano found himself standing at the crossroads of history and rock and roll. The weight of 1,000 eyes, 1,000 expectations pressed down on him. Reopening Winterland wasn't just about navigating bureaucratic hurdles. It was about resurrecting a symbol. The building itself seemed to groan under the weight of its legacy. The echoes of Hendrix, Joplin, and the Dead lingered in the air. Furano could almost feel the ghosts of rock and roll past urging him on. But the Winterland of today was a far cry from its glorious past. The air now carried the sterile odor of disinfectant and fresh paint. The fire marshal's yellow brick road cut a jarring path through the space. Furano, armed with permits, began the arduous task of breathing life back into Winterland. The name Bill Graham was synonymous with San Francisco's rock and roll scene, a force of nature disguised as a concert promoter. Graham was known for his fiery personality and his uncanny ability to book the biggest acts. His company, Bill Graham Presents, reigned supreme over the city's concert landscape. Furano knew that securing Graham as Winterland's primary tenant was crucial. But Graham, a shrewd businessman, was in no rush to commit. In the end, a deal was struck. Graham agreed to make Winterland his flagship. Bill Graham was more than just a promoter. He was a conductor, an orchestra leader. His staged the San Francisco music scene, and Winterland, with its cavernous space and legendary acoustics, was his new concert hall. His team, a tight-knit group of loyal lieutenants, moved with the precision of a well-oiled machine. Patrick Stansfield, Graham's right-hand man, exuded a quiet competence. Jerry Pompili, the production manager, possessed an encyclopedic knowledge of sound and lighting. And then there was Queenie Taylor, Graham's longtime personal assistant. This was the team that Furano now found himself working alongside. They were a family, fiercely loyal to Graham and to each other. The weeks leading up to Winterland's grand reopening were a blur of activity. Crews worked around the clock, putting the finishing touches on the renovated space. Posters blanketed the city, announcing Winterland's return. The air crackled with anticipation. Furano found solace in the quiet moments before the storm. He would wander the empty venue, imagining the crowds that would soon fill it. He could almost hear the roar of the audience. The pressure was immense. The eyes of the city were on Winterland. Furano felt a surge of excitement. He was part of something special. He was a custodian of rock and roll history. But as the opening night approached, a sense of foreboding began to creep in. Furano couldn't shake the feeling that something was about to happen. The stage was set, the lights were about to dim, and the curtain was about to rise on a new chapter in Winterland's storied history. The grand reopening of Winterland was a night of triumph, a celebration of music's enduring power. The Grateful Dead delivered a blistering set, the crowd's ecstatic response a resounding affirmation. But for Dave Furano, a sense of unease lingered. Legendary acts graced Winterland's stage: the Rolling Stones, The Who, Led Zeppelin. Each concert was a logistical tightrope walk. Bill Graham chafed against the restrictions imposed upon Winterland. Furano was acutely aware of the consequences of non-compliance. The tension between the two men was palpable. Furano was determined to prove Winterland could be both a sanctuary for rock and roll and a responsible community member. The night of the benefit concert for Sheriff Richard Hongisto was electric. Crosby, Stills, and Nash had the crowd spellbound. Furano, unaware of the potential guest star, was attending another event that night. The streets surrounding Winterland were gridlocked, a sea of cars and people. Sheriff's cars, their lights flashing, formed a barricade around Winterland. Furano abandoned his vehicle and plunged into the throng of concertgoers. The venue was overflowing, a clear violation of the fire code. He had to confront Graham, even if it meant shutting down the show. The air inside Winterland was thick with a mixture of sweat, marijuana smoke, and nervous energy. Furano, his way blocked by the throng of concertgoers, slowly snaked his way through the crowded lobby towards Graham's office. Reaching Graham's makeshift office, Furano found Daria Impresa. Cara di Holy Court shall more or investigable decisions, Roadies and Harris.
Well, 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 if it isn't the Sheriff of Winterland come to rain on our parade.
A wave of laughter rippled through the room, directed at Furano.
Relax, kid, it's all under control. We're just having a little fun.
Fun? Furano spat back, incredulous. This isn't a game, Bill. This is serious.
I'll tell you what's serious, kid. This is my lifeblood, this music, this venue, this is all I've got. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let some pencil-pushing bureaucrat tell me how to run my business.
Furano, though outnumbered, refused to back down. The aftermath of the benefit concert standoff was tense. Furano initiated the process of evicting Bill Graham Presents and collecting the hefty fine stipulated in their contract. Graham responded with a mixture of fury and icy silence. Yet amidst the tension, a strange sort of truce emerged. The weekly production meetings transformed into a battleground of wits and wills. Every Monday, the key players would assemble in Winterland's dimly lit office. The meetings followed a predictable rhythm, dissecting the previous week's events and discussing upcoming shows. Furano, armed with spreadsheets, would detail any violations, met with amusement and disdain from Graham's team. Yet beneath their antagonism, a grudging respect began to emerge. The weekly production meetings became a microcosm of the strange symbiosis that defined Winterland. The weekly production meetings were only the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the verbal sparring lay a labyrinth of logistical challenges, none more daunting than ticket distribution. This was the pre-computerized era, a time when tickets were tangible objects. The process began with the creation of the artwork, a balance between artistic vision and technical limitations. Once finalized, the printing plates were meticulously crafted. The tickets themselves were printed on heavy cardstock, their edges adorned with intricate designs. The arrival of the freshly printed tickets at Winterland was a momentous occasion. The tickets were carefully counted, their serial numbers logged. Winterland relied on a network of independent record stores for distribution. The tickets were hand-delivered, eagerly anticipated by store owners and patrons alike. Just as the tickets were passports to Winterland, the posters were works of art. These weren't mere advertisements. They were chronicles of a cultural movement. The creation of a Winterland poster was a sacred ritual, a fusion of artistic vision and technical skill. Bill Graham had an unerring eye for talent, cultivating relationships with artists whose work embodied the psychedelic aesthetic of the era. Names like Stanley Mouse, Alton Kelly, and Wes Wilson became synonymous with Winterland. The posters were portals to another dimension, their swirling fonts and vibrant colors reflecting the music they represented. The printing process was an art form, requiring meticulous attention to detail. Posters were typically printed using a silk screen process. The arrival of the freshly printed posters at Winterland was a cause for celebration. Each poster was a unique work of art, a testament to the enduring power of music. Winterland's marketing strategy was guerrilla marketing, Haight-Ashbury style. The record stores that served as ticket outlets were key players in this underground network. They were community centers where music lovers traded news and snagged tickets to the hottest shows. Flyers blanketed the city, plastered on telephone poles and bulletin boards. These weren't just advertisements. They were subversive acts of rebellion. Word of mouth fueled by the contagious enthusiasm of the city's music lovers, was the most potent marketing tool. News of an upcoming show would spread like wildfire. The success of this grassroots approach was a testament to the power of community. This wasn't just about selling tickets. It was about spreading the gospel of rock and roll. It was about creating an experience that extended far beyond the walls of Winterland. While the artistic side of Winterland pulsed with chaotic energy, the business side demanded a more pragmatic approach. Each concert was a delicate balancing act, a high-stakes game where success hinged on filling the seats while staying on the right side of the law. The weekly ritual of tallying the ticket sales was nerve-wracking. In those pre-digital days, the only way to gauge a show's popularity was by calling each record store and collecting their sales figures. The pressure was immense. A sold-out show meant a financial windfall, but also brought the risk of overcrowding. An empty house was a financial disaster. Furano walked a tightrope, appeasing Bill Graham while ensuring Winterland remained on the right side of the law. Each concert was a gamble, a roll of the dice. But for those who believed in the transformative power of music, the risks were always worth taking. The air crackled with anticipation. This was The Doors, live at Winterland. Jim Morrison, the band's enigmatic frontman, was a mythical figure. Furano, stationed near the stage, felt a familiar knot of anxiety in his stomach. The energy inside Winterland was different tonight, more volatile. The Doors' music seemed to amplify the crowd's energy. Morrison, clad in tight leather pants and a billowing shirt, was a force of nature unleashed on stage. His voice commanded the audience's attention. The set list was a greatest hits collection, each song a sonic gut punch. The crowd sang along to every word, their voices a collective roar. Furano, his senses on high alert, couldn't shake the feeling that the night was teetering on a precipice. The ghost of Altamont hung heavy in the air. He watched as Morrison began taunting the crowd. The security team exchanged nervous glances. Furano made his way backstage, threading through the labyrinth of equipment. He found Bill Graham deep in conversation with the Doors' road manager.
We need to get a handle on this.
Furano said, his voice barely a whisper above the din of the music.
I know, kid, I know, but Morrison, he's a loose cannon.
Furano felt a wave of helplessness wash over him. Back in the throng of the crowd, a young woman named Maria danced with abandon. She'd come to Winterland seeking escape. The music, the energy, the sense of shared experience transported her to another realm. She'd heard the stories about Jim Morrison. To her, he wasn't just a singer, he was a poet, a rebel. She watched, mesmerized, as he stalked the stage. But as the night wore on, a sense of unease crept into Maria's euphoria. Morrison's words now seemed slurred, incoherent. The music now felt oppressive, the air thick with a sense of menace. Maria realized there was no escaping the complexities of life, the ever-present potential for things to spin out of control. News of the Doors' chaotic performance spread like wildfire through the city. The authorities tightened their grip on Winterland. The pressure on Dave Furano mounted. Yet, amidst the challenges, something extraordinary was happening at Winterland. A community was being forged, a tribe of like-minded souls drawn together by their shared love of music. The regulars, the diehards who wouldn't miss a show, the first-timers, wide-eyed and eager, their senses overwhelmed by the sights and sounds, and the musicians themselves, drawn to Winterland's legendary acoustics, the palpable energy between the stage and the audience. It was about the shared experience, the sense of belonging. Furano, despite his anxieties, couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. He was a part of something special, a cultural phenomenon, a guardian of a space where music reigned supreme, where community flourished, where the human spirit soared. He was the reluctant sheriff of Winterland, and he wouldn't have had it any other way. The soul of a city. Winterland, more than just a concert venue, became a reflection of San Francisco's soul. The city, a haven for artists, dreamers, and those seeking refuge from the mundane. Every guitar riff, every drum solo, every soaring vocal echoed the city's vibrant spirit. The Haight-Ashbury district, once the epicenter of the Summer of Love, may have faded, but its spirit lived on in the throngs of concert-goers at Winterland. They came from all walks of life, drawn together by their shared love of music. Within Winterland's walls, social barriers crumbled. It was a melting pot of cultures, backgrounds, and beliefs, a testament to the city's embrace of diversity, its willingness to challenge convention. The music scene wasn't just about entertainment. It was a vital organ, pumping lifeblood into the city's veins. Winterland, at the heart of it all, became a symbol of San Francisco's enduring spirit. The music from Winterland's stage was a reflection of the times, a soundtrack to a generation grappling with social change and political upheaval. It was a mix of rock and roll swagger, psychedelic exploration, and soulful blues, each note a challenge to the status quo. The Grateful Dead, San Francisco's psychedelic pioneers, were the venue's spiritual anchors. Janis Joplin, her voice a raw force of nature, resonated deeply with a generation. Jimi Hendrix, a guitar god, set the stage ablaze with his incendiary performances. Carlos Santana, with his Latin-infused rhythms, brought a new flavor to the mix. The voices of protest and rebellion also found a home at Winterland. Joan Baez, her folk anthems calling for peace and justice, brought the anti-war movement to the forefront. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young gave voice to a generation disillusioned by war and inequality. Winterland became a crucible where musical boundaries blurred and innovation flourished. The final curtain fell on Winterland in 1978, its demolition marking the end of an era. The building may be gone, but its legacy lives on, etched in the annals of rock and roll history. It remains a touchstone for music lovers, a symbol of a time when music felt dangerous and transformative. Winterland's legacy extends far beyond the music itself. It represents a time and a place where creativity flourished, where community thrived. The story of Winterland is not just a nostalgic trip down memory lane. It's, a reminder of the enduring power of music, its ability to unite, inspire, and challenge. It's a testament to the human spirit's need for connection, for community, for something that transcends the everyday. Though the physical structure of Winterland is gone, its essence lives on in the hearts and minds of those who experienced its magic firsthand. It lives on in the music that continues to inspire, the memories that continue to resonate, the stories that continue to be passed down through generations. The echoes of Winterland's legacy can be felt in every crowded concert hall, every impromptu jam session, every time someone picks up a guitar or a paintbrush, inspired by the spirit of creativity and rebellion that the venue embodied. Winterland may be a relic of the past, but its story continues to resonate in the present, a reminder that the power of music, the spirit of community, and the courage to dream can never be silenced. It's a story that deserves to be told, a legacy that deserves to be celebrated, an echo that will continue to reverberate through the generations. Winterland's Encore, a legacy etched in time. The year is 2024. The corner of Post and Steiner bears little resemblance to its former glory. Gone is the imposing facade of Winterland, the legendary venue that once pulsed with rock and roll dreams. A nondescript apartment building now stands in its place. Yet for those who were there, the memories linger, vivid and vibrant. They remember the deafening roar of the crowd, the intoxicating blend of sweat, marijuana smoke, and anticipation. They remember the legendary performers who graced Winterland's stage. Winterland may be gone, but its legacy endures. It's a legacy etched in time, a reminder that some memories refuse to fade. More than bricks and mortar, the enduring spirit of a movement. Winterland was a cultural phenomenon where music, art, and social change collided. It was a place where boundaries blurred, and the spirit of rebellion found a voice. Music felt dangerous, subversive, igniting revolutions both personal and political. Young people, disillusioned by war and social injustice, sought a sense of belonging. Winterland was a gathering place for like-minded souls to connect and lose themselves in the music. It was a place where anything felt possible, where dreams were given flight. The spirit of Winterland continues to inspire new generations to challenge the status quo. Winterland's influence on popular music is undeniable. It was a proving ground for countless artists, a stage where legends were made. The Grateful Dead honed their improvisational skills on its stage. Bruce Springsteen solidified his reputation as a live powerhouse. Winterland's influence extends far beyond music. Its legacy can be felt in countless independent music venues worldwide. The music never dies. A final bow. The music never dies. It echoes through time, transcending generations, connecting us to the past, reminding us of the enduring power of human expression. And so it is with Winterland. Though the building itself is gone, its spirit lives on, not just in the memories of those who were there, but in the music that continues to inspire, the art that continues to challenge, the stories that continue to be told. Close your eyes. Imagine the opening chords of a familiar song, the thump of the bass drum vibrating in your chest, the crowd roaring its approval. The music washes over you, transporting you back to a time when anything felt possible, when the world seemed full of promise, when the air crackled with the energy of 1,000 dreams taking flight. That's the legacy of Winterland. It's a reminder that even in the face of change, even in the face of loss, the music never truly dies. It lives on in the hearts and minds of those who believe, a testament to the enduring power of art, the importance of community, and the boundless potential of the human spirit.